The assembly say, praise Yahweh. At this time, I ask that we all stand as we go into prayer. Abba Yahweh, we told you for bringing us through another week. Abba Yahweh, we told you for shielding us, covering us from all the sicknesses, viruses that might be in the air right now. Abba Yahweh, continue to be a shelter for us, shelter we can go to and be safe. Abba Yahweh, continue to look over your people at this time and continue to show us the way. Teach us, prepare us for those things that are to come. Abba Yahweh, continue to be with your real and true messengers. Be with their mouths. Put your words in their mouths. Stand them tall and with strength, Abba Yahweh, so they can stand and proclaim your words and prepare all the Israel for those things that are to come down the line. Abba Yahweh, continue to open our eyes and show us the signs of the world. Show us that these days are coming to a close and we must be in line with you. Abba Yahweh, strengthen your people at this time. Give us the strength we need in order to be able to endure to the very end. Abba Yahweh, have us not in a spirit of fear, but Abba Yahweh, have us to have that Ruach HaKodesh dwell within us so we may be able to walk in this earth and not be afraid of anything that may come down on this earth, but know that we can trust on you and trust that you will see us through anything that may go down in this earth. And Abba Yahweh, continue to show those in the world that these are perilous times and that we need to come to you, Abba Yahweh. Show the world that the front of games is over with. We have to be serious about this way. We have to be serious about receiving salvation. And Abba Yahweh, those that hate you and your people, those that destroy the earth, those that put out any amount of sicknesses, viruses, poison in the food, water, Abba Yahweh, do your will, show your power, and strike down all that seem to want to destroy Israel. Abba Yahweh, show your power and show them that they will not succeed in anything that they do in this earth. And show them, Abba Yahweh, that they have a due reward waiting for them in judgment. In Yahshua HaMashiach's name we pray. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. House of Israel, you may be seated. Say Shabbat Shalom, House of Israel. And I say Shabbat Shalom, all that are tuning in on the live stream. I'm going to say I hope all are tough this very day. And I hope all the tough on the viewing of the live stream. Like I said earlier, may Yahweh protect us. May Yahweh shield us from all that is going down in this earth. And show us that Yahweh is truly with us. Yahweh is truly with his people. He said he will not leave you or forsake you. Do you believe that, Israel? We have to believe Yahweh is with us and he will protect us. So there's no need to fear, no need to be afraid as we walk in this earth. These things that we see now will pass. But these coming days that are coming, these last days, you're going to see far more stuff than this going down in this earth. So at this time, I say we need to come to Yahweh. Because if the times are going to get even worse than this, how you think you're going to get saved? You think you're going to save yourselves? You think Almighty Yahweh, you gonna reject him and he gonna look out for you? No, you have to be with Almighty Yahweh and be sincere if you want to be protected from whatever goes down in this earth. So I just encourage you all to continue on, no matter if they shut everything down. Guess what, Israel? Yahweh was with Israel in the wilderness. He took care of them. He's with us now. He still will protect us and take care of us. And we have to look out for one another. Because, like we always say, we are all we have. So we have to look out for all of Israel. Be there for one another. Call each other. Check up on each other. These are the times where can't be a hypocrite. You can't have hypocrisy. You have to be real and be with one another. Love one another as you love yourself, Israel. So this night, I want to talk about identifying false prophets. And this time, we need more people that's going to stand for Yahweh's truth. We need people that are going to sincerely stand for Yahweh and teach, prepare the people. We need people like that. But since these are the last days, I want to identify what you're going to see in the false prophets. Those that go out and deliberately want to make Israel go astray. Those that deliberately want you to get off the path. And it's not just those people in the world that want you to get off the path of Almighty Yahweh. Sometimes it's people in your vicinity. And in Israel, it says all that is in Israel is not Israel. So you got people in your midst that stand before you and proclaim that they stand for Almighty Yahweh, but doing the opposite. They want to deter you off the path, close the door for salvation for you. So we have to identify these things in the last days. So he says, so we don't be deceived. Be on guard, be on watch, so you don't be deceived, Israel. Because this is our souls that you are walking this way of life to be saved, your soul to be saved. So wouldn't you want to walk in the right direction? Wouldn't you want to walk in the ways of Almighty Yahweh? So this is nothing to play with. You have to, like he says, read this, study this each and every day, so you will know. It is within you, Israel. So you will know. Somebody say something false, somebody go contradicting the Torah, you will know and get far away from it. Because you don't want to keep sitting under somebody that deliberately wants to deter you off the path, do you? We've been in the world before in the churches, and they do that. They did try to deceive you, get your name, get you off of the name and all these things. So once Yahweh opens your eyes, you don't want to go back to that. You want to follow what thus says Yahweh. So let's go into this book and show how different prophets, different messengers, they showed us. They gave us examples on what to look out for. So like I said, Israel, we're going to be all right because the roadmap to salvation lies in this book. Yahweh is not going to put you out just not to succeed. If you follow Yahweh, you will succeed. You on the winning team, Israel. Yahweh is not going to lose. So I don't know about you. I don't want to be on no losing team. I want to be on the winning team. They show you in sports. They all these things in the world people compete for. They show you, oh nah, they don't want to be a loser. They want to be on that number one team to achieve that goal. So we want to be on the number one team, which is Yahweh's team, so we can achieve salvation. That is the one goal over any goal in this world. People chase after a crown. People chase after trophies. People chase after medals. But we want to chase after Almighty Yahweh and salvation. That's what we want. Let's go into the book of Jude. This is Jude. I'm going to start at verse 3. It says, Beloved, while I was very diligent to write to you concerning our common salvation, I found it necessary to write to you, exhorting you to contend earnestly for the faith which was once for all delivered to the condition. For certain men have crept in unnoticed, who long ago were marked out for this condemnation. Unrighteous men who turn the Hasid of Abba into lewdness and deny the only Elohim and Yahshua HaMashiach. You see this now. You see people deny Yahshua HaMashiach. You see different prophets out here, they don't take this Torah seriously. They think these things, they want to twist Yahweh's words and make it seem like this is what that says Yahweh. But Yahweh says, do not add or do not take away from my words. But that's what these false prophets are doing. And you should know, if somebody deny Yahshua HaMashiach, the Messiah, then you should know, get far away from that person. Because it says it's going to be many false prophets. It says, and that is the anti-Messiah. Somebody that deny Yahshua HaMashiach. If you deny Yahshua HaMashiach, you denying your salvation. You don't want to get salvation, because he is the doorway into salvation. So if you deny him, you forfeit salvation. And guess what? There's only two options. It's either life or death. So if you forfeit life, then you choosing death. Plain and simple. But he says they've been marked out for condemnation. They got their due reward coming. He even talks about how those that teach are going to be judged more strict. So it shouldn't be many teachers, because this is serious. A lot of people, they think, oh, they want to stand before you just to be seen. You know how the world is. People always want the big messengers out there. They want that spotlight. They want to be seen. They want to be noticed. They don't want to do the work. They just want to feed off of the people. Now it says, Yahweh says you should feed the flock. But you don't see different messengers out there feeding the flock, teaching, preparing the people for what's to come. All they want to do is feed off of you and take all the stuff that you have while they become rich, while they become wealthy. You see this in the world today. But it says, but I want to remind you, though you once knew this, that Yahweh, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterwards destroyed those who did not believe. Now, it comes down to that, Israel. People that do not believe. Best believe somebody stand before you and they contradicting the Torah and they reject Yahweh and Hamashiach. They do not believe. They going off even their own knowledge. And like we always say, we don't have no knowledge without Almighty Yahweh. So what we think we know, we think we proclaiming, if it's not of Yahweh, it's not wisdom at all. And Yahweh said you will make foolish the wisdom of the world. All these people of the world think they smart. The different philosophers, the different stargazers, all these things, they predicting all these things that Almighty Yahweh already did. He already established. So these people want to make it seem like they're in charge of everything. And that's all this is. These people in this world, they want control over you, Israel. They want control over the whole world. And you see these things starting to unfold right now. It's all about getting in control of the people. Because if the people don't have resources, if everything's shutting down, they want you to rely on them for everything. Right? Don't that make sense? They want you to rely on them because it seems like there's nowhere else to go. But you have Almighty Yahweh. So it is somewhere else to go. And it's not somewhere else. We should be with Yahweh already. Because he's right there waiting for us to answer our prayers. Now it says, and the angels who did not keep their proper domain, but left their own abode, he has reserved in everlasting chains under darkness for the judgment of the great day. As Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities around them in a similar matter to these, having given themselves over to fornication and gone after strange flesh, are set forth as an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. Showed us these things. You seen what it said happened in Sodom and Gomorrah? He rained down that fire on that place. He brought that fire. He's showing us that's what's to come, Israel. If we keep on going down the line of not obeying Yahweh and doing our own thing, we destined for their flames. Because he showed you Sodom and Gomorrah. Were they doing right with Almighty Yahweh? No. They were doing all types of abominable things that irked, that angered Almighty Yahweh. But you look out into the world today, is there anything different from Sodom and Gomorrah? You see the same stuff going on. Anything goes. Transgender, homosexuality, everything that is opposite of what Almighty Yahweh commands, that's what the world want to do. And would you want to follow that? Somebody telling you, nah, that's Yahweh's, that's not what to do. You want to do what the opposite of what Yahweh says. Why would you want to follow that? And we can't continue to say, so you keep voting, but if you vote, you following what they're doing. You agree with what they're doing. So denounce that. Get rid of the voting is not saving us. The voting, they not looking out for you, Israel. So rely strictly on Almighty Yahweh. He is there waiting for us each and every day. Now let's go to verse 16. 16 says, these are grumblers, complainers, walking according to their own lust, and they mouth great swelling words. You know how they get on TV, the different messengers speak well. You know, that's why people go, they like, wow, he sound good. But you ask him, what he teach about? What he say? I don't know. He just sounded good. He made me feel good that day. But they had those flattering words to gain an advantage. Don't let nobody see that's how the people they suck up. They trying to get people on their side. They try to say flattering things to try to get you on their side. But like I said, you have to be aware they not speaking what thus says Yahweh. They not of Yahweh. But you, beloved, remember the words which were spoken before by the apostles of Yahshua HaMashiach. How they told you that there would be mockers in the last time who would walk according to their own lust. These are sensual persons who cause divisions, not having the Ruach. See, they not of Yahweh. They don't have the Ruach. So they speaking of their own, not speaking what thus says Yahweh, trying to get followers. That's basically Shaitan. That's what he wants. Guess what, Israel? Where you think Shaitan is going to fight the most? Within the house of Israel or out in the world? He gonna fight more in Israel because he see, oh, they striving, they doing what thus says Yahweh. Nah, I gotta break that up. I gotta cause confusion. I gotta get them off the path. So that's why we always say, you feast days, anytime you serving Yahweh, here comes your time. Trying to get you off the path. Trying to throw something your way to deter you off of what you're supposed to be doing. But like I said, we should recognize these things. The longer you stay with Almighty Yahweh, the more He places that ruach onto you, and He give you that discernment to know what to do and what not to do. That's what the ruach is for. We need His Almighty ruach. That's all. That's how we're gonna survive in these last days, Israel. Let's go to the book of Titus. Cause you got different people talking about, watch out for these false prophets, false messengers. Do not be deceived. And they talking about the same things that are going on right now. Titus chapter 1, verse 5. For this reason, I left you in Crete, that you should set in order the things that are lacking, and appoint elders in every city as I command you. He breaks down different messengers, elders that should teach the people right, to prepare the people what they should be, what you should be looking for in that person. It says if a man is blameless, the husband of one wife, having faithful children, not accused of dissipation or insubordination, for minister must be blameless as a steward of Yahweh, not self-willed, not quick-tempered, not given to wine, not violent, not greedy for money. See, that eliminated a lot of people out here. I mean, that's what they dwell on, getting the money. You wonder why they say the money makes the world go round. See, you focus on that money, greed, and Yahweh does not like that, because Yahweh wants you to help the poor. Don't focus on yourself. Help others that are in need. That's what Yahweh is looking for. It says, but hospitable, a lover of what is tough, sober-minded, just, kodesh, self-controlled, holding fast the faithful word as he has been taught. See that you hold on to this. Don't let this slip. Keep it. Like I said, this word is within you. The more you rehearse it, the more you read it, the more you study it, it becomes of you. And you know what to do. So, like in the end, Yahweh said, there's no excuse. And judgment is no excuse. We're going to be judged for what we have done. And if we messed it up, that is on us. Show you later how have to get that off of you and warn the people, because if you don't warn the people, Yahweh is coming at the message. The people gonna get it, but their blood, where it's gonna be? On their head. So, like I said, this is not nothing to be playing with. But it says that he may be able, by sound doctrine, both to exhort and to convict those who contradict. Sound doctrine. Then didn't it say it come a time where people don't want to hear sound doctrine? Ain't this This the time, Israel. A lot of people, they don't want to hear sound doctrine. They just want to hear what they want to hear to please them, make them feel good. But a lot of times we need to hear things that we don't want to hear because Yahweh wants to correct us to get us on the right path. So if we reject all the things that Yahweh commands us to do, you just want to be having fun, you just want to feel good, you're not gonna make it. See, the word hits on all of us. No one is an exception. The word hits on all of us. So if it hit on us, if it hit on me, you, all we had to do is get in line with what Yahweh says. Like I said, the ministers, they not exempt from it. The word hits all. Let's go to that. Second Timothy. Second Timothy chapter 4. Verse 2 says, preach the word. What thus says Yahweh? Be ready in season and out of season. This is what the word does. It convinces, it rebukes, it exhorts with all long suffering and teaching. See, sometimes you have to convince, you have to exhort, you have to rebuke. A lot of people, they don't want that. People don't want to get rebuked if they're in the wrong. But we better want to be corrected when we are in the wrong so we get on that right path. Because Yahweh, okay, he going to rebuke, he going to correct you. But after a while, if you keep rejecting him, he just going to let you go on your own way. And then if he keep you going in your own way, what you think you're going to get in judgment day? See, then it's too late. But it says, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but according to their own desires, because they have itching ears, give me what I want to hear. If you don't give people what they want to hear, guess they're gonna leave. Now, what you think? Why you think different temples in Israel only have a few people scattered here and there? And it's not a packed house like the churches out there. Why you think that is? Because those that are true with Almighty Yahweh, they're going to tell you, no, don't do that. Do this. What thus says Yahweh. They're going to rebuke when you're out of line. And we have to be willing to hear the rebuke of Almighty Yahweh. Because, like I said, this is our soul on the line. Children, when they get out of line, you have to discipline them to get them in the right. Yahweh is doing the same thing. He disciplines us, get us in the right. But then we have a problem when Yahweh does it. You see a child, they mad at the beginning when they get punished or disciplined, but after a while, they come to their senses and they love you right back. But how come when we become adults and we get rebuked by the word of Yahweh, we in the wrong? You know you in the wrong. Somebody rebuke you, and then all of a sudden, oh, I can't stand him. I don't know why he getting on me. Out the door. We gone. Don't come back. What's up with that? This is your soul on the line. We can't just do what we want to do. You see how serious the world is right now. You want to do what you want to do? Okay. You think you're going to be protected by Almighty Yahweh? Because you're doing your own thing? No, we have to get serious. That's why the people have to hear the warning of Almighty Yahweh to get us in line, to prepare us. Because like I said, there's going to be more evil days coming down the line. And we can't endure this day, then we ain't going to make it. And how do you endure? Stand with Yahweh. It says they have itching ears. They will heap up for themselves teachers. and they will turn their ears away from the truth. See that? The truth of Almighty Yahweh that leads to salvation, but you're going to turn away from it because you don't want to hear it. So the truth is what's going to set you free, Israel. That truth is going to lead you to salvation. But look what they turned to. Turned to fables. Fables. Uh, Not Yahweh's word, not what he says, but fables. What are fables? Yeah, different stories, lies about, and then animals talking. Like you said, don't add or take away to my word. But that's how these people they do. They want pack houses so you can give them the money. So they're gonna do whatever possible to gain your attention and gain your money. So if speaking well of you and giving you what you want to hear, if that's what it takes, that's what they're gonna do. But those that are true to Almighty Yahweh not gonna go for that. Because like I said, at the end, that blood is on their hand. Because they didn't say what thus says Yahweh. They just went along with what the people wanted. This is not playing games. This is, but you be watchful in all things. Endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, and fulfill your ministry. Do what thus says Yahweh. But that's people today. You tell people what to do, they're in the wrong. You tell people this is the way, and they look at you crazy. They want to argue with you. There's all types of spirits out there. They want to get angry with you. All you trying to do is save their soul, snatch them out of the fire. But you get all this arguing back and forth, like you beating them up or something with the word. No, you just patiently wanting to show them what is in the Torah. A lot of the people they don't even read this book, but think what they're doing is right. So if you don't read the book, the Torah, how do you know what you're doing is right? You don't. So this is the time, Israel. So like it says, if it's just a few, then continue to strive. Don't get distracted. Don't get down because it's family. Just continue to strive and do the will of Almighty Yahweh. Because guess what? You got it all for you. You told different people this is the way. Follow Yahweh. But they didn't want to hear it. So it's off of you, Israel. But let's go back into it. Book of Titus. Titus chapter 1, verse 10. For there are many insubordinate, both idle talkers and deceivers. See that idle talking and talking about all this stuff that is not pertaining to Almighty Yahweh. See, a lot of times when we talk about different things not of Yahweh, and even when newcomers come, you drawing them away. They not taking in what thus says Yahweh, what the minister has said. And it says be deceivers, especially those of the circumcision. See that within the house of Israel, not just out in the world. So you got to fight with the world, and you got to fight and contend with those that are within. And it's sad. And then, with even more sad, you got to fight even more against those that are within than the world sometimes. But like it says, ministers and messengers, they got to stand and proclaim Yahweh's word, rebuke, exhort, whatever it takes to get the people attention. It says whose mouths must be stopped. See that? Because if you continue to let people, all this false stuff going around, false doctrine they spewing out, you're gonna destroy the people. Especially if somebody is newly coming to this. What you think you're gonna do to them? So it says who subvert whole households, teaching them things which they ought not, for the sake of dishonest gain. See that? Teaching people different things that shouldn't even be teaching. But got people out there, all they thinking about is money. That's all they relying on. Now it said, I want to see right now, even with those mega churches, what's going on now? You can't do the gatherings and stuff like that. How the ministers gonna get that money now? So that's all they worried about. So I know they in shambles right now. They worried like really. Creflo Dollar, a cash app for the congregation. Wow, not surprised. That Creflo Dollar, right? Grab your dollar. But see that's what they gonna find ways around it to get your money. Even if they shut everything down, nah, I'm gonna find a way because that income gotta keep coming in. Sad, but Yahweh see it all. They gonna have to pay for that at the end. The people suffering, but you living all high on the hog, as they say, unclean, unclean. Exactly. Now, one of them, a prophet of their own, said Cretans are always liars, evil beasts, lazy gluttons. This testimony is true. Therefore, rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith, not giving heed to fables and commandments of men who turn from the truth. See that you gotta rebuke some people so much so that they turn away from that nonsense, that garbage that they spewing out. And maybe Yahweh have hasid on them and they turn from their ways. Because if it ain't of Yahweh what we doing things of what man has set in place. Like I said, commandments of men. The lot of the world's men, they have set up things in order to get your attention off of Almighty Yahweh. And we sit up here day after day and do the things that they do, things of the nations. And that's what got us in trouble from the beginning, doing the things of the nations instead of relying on Almighty Yahweh. Don't you realize, Israel, that following Yahweh is more prosperous than following what's in that world? What's in that world doesn't hold a candle to what Yahweh has for you. So why are we continually holding on to the world? That's what the world wants you to do, coming to these last days, because like I said, there's gonna be something coming to this earth where want to demand all of your worship. And if we're not prepared right now, when those days come, we're gonna be falling for that. He said, come out of her, my people. Don't be partakers of their sins. When Yahweh give that command, come out, we gotta come out. We can't do everything the nations do, because when Yahweh comes back and takes down the nations, we're gonna go down right along with them because we want to be partakers with them. But can't get people to focus on that right now. All they think about, oh, nah, I need the people to look out for me. The world to look out for me. I'm gonna do everything they doing because they look like they prosperous. They doing tough out there. Can't be envious of what they're doing. They have their reward right now. But Israel, we working for our reward and that kingdom to come. So don't be trying to get everything of the world. Yahweh gives you what you need, Israel. He knows what you need. You don't need all the riches of the world. Imagine if we had the riches of the world, where we would be right now. See, all those riches get your mind off of Yahweh. You wondering what I'm going to spend all this stuff on, what I'm going to do, where I'm going to travel. All of a sudden, you forget about Almighty Yahweh because you on that dollar. Now it says, to the pure, all things are pure, but to those who are defiled and unbelieving, nothing is pure. But even their mind and conscience are defiled. They profess to know Yahweh. See, like you gotta have discernment because people go on profess they know Yahweh, they love Yahweh, but it's gonna show on the way they live. People can talk all they want, but if you're not living this out, you not of Yahweh. You doing your own thing and you following the ways of Shaitan. Now it says, but in works they deny him. See that? Being abominable, disobedient, and disqualified for every tough work. See, he's showing us what to look out for. These different people, Pastor Shaul, all these people that labored, they stood for the people. They said what thus says Yahweh. They didn't back down. You know, Pastor Shaul, what he went through? All the things he went through, he beat, shipwrecked. I mean, the man did it and wasn't ashamed. He kept doing it because he knew Almighty Yahweh. He knew Yahweh would be with him. Yeah, he did his dirt back in the day, but that shows us that we can change from our old ways also. Because what he did, go against the assembly of Yahweh, and Yahweh had to beat him down so much so where when he opened his eyes and he started walking with Yahweh, it wasn't no stopping him. So that we gotta be the same way, Israel. When we turn from our old ways, we gotta have our eyes open and follow Yahweh and don't let nothing stop you, Israel. Because this is the way that leads to salvation. There's no other way. Aren't you glad of that? Let's go to the book of Romans. Romans chapter 2, starting at verse 17. Indeed, you are called a Yahudim and rest on the law and make your boast in Yahweh. Excuse me. And know his will and approve the things that are excellent, being instructed out of the law, and are confident that you yourselves are a guide to the blind, the light to those who are in darkness, an instructor of the foolish, a teacher of babes, having the form of knowledge and truth in the law. You, therefore, who teach another, do you not teach yourself? Come on. Those that teach, they gotta be in line with Almighty Yahweh. You gotta teach yourself how to be in line. You can't teach nobody if you're doing the opposite of Almighty Yahweh. Like I brought out last week, how if you go tell somebody stop smoking, but you yourself smoking yourself, how you gonna tell somebody? How you gonna teach somebody that when you ain't stop yourself? But that's the people in the world, those prophets, preachers out there in the world. They tell you what to do, but behind closed doors, they doing all this filth. And it comes out. What's in the dark comes to light. You see different preachers that come out with the different scandals, have multiple wives, multiple children by all these wives. One that he was here, Jamal Bryant. I was sitting up under that. And then when finally Yahweh showed me all the stuff that was going on, I was like, nah, this ain't it. I'm getting up out of here. So that's when Yahweh decided to show me this is the way. Because like I said, I always say, something is wrong. They're not telling you something. Yahweh opens your eyes when you are sincere and want to know him. That's a good feeling when he opens your eyes and show you that truth. Ain't no other feeling like that because now you walking in the right way. No other feeling like that. So continue to have that feeling throughout to the end of your days, Israel. It says, you who preach that a man should not steal, do you steal? You who say, do not commit adultery, do you commit adultery? You who abhor idols, do you rob temples? You who make your boast in the law, do you dishonor Yahweh through breaking the law? For the name of Yahweh is blasphemed among the Gentiles because of you, as is written. So, gotta be real. You teaching somebody, preaching to somebody, and you telling them what not to do, and come to find out you doing the same thing. You can't do it. Gotta be real before Almighty Yahweh. Like I said, you might think you hiding these things from the people. You might think you hiding them from Yahweh, but Yahweh sees these things, and he gonna bring it to light to embarrass you, show the people. And it's sad the people, even a lot of people, they have shown these different things, and they still want to sit up under the people just because they're giving them what they want to hear. They making them happy for that particular day. It's sad. Let's go to First John. See, it's sad that we as a people don't follow Yahweh. We reject Yahweh to the point where Yahweh is trying to get our attention in this world, trying to show us to get in line because he's not playing. It's a shame we wait to the last minute when things get so tremendous, so overwhelming. Then that's when we want to come to Almighty Yahweh. Why do we treat Yahweh like that? Yahweh don't do that to us. Yahweh is always there for us. So we always got to be there for him. First John chapter 2, starting at verse 18. Little children, it is the last hour, and as you have heard that the Anthemessiah is coming, even now many Anthemessiahs have come, by which we know that it is the last hour. They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would have continued with us. See, if you real, if you true, you're going to continue with Almighty Yahweh. You're not going to get up and leave when you know what the truth is. No, you're going to continue with Yahweh. But this, like I said, yeah, watch some that said they are of us. They go out to try to deceive and bring people towards them. But they went out that they might be made manifest, that none of them were of us. See, it goes how you live, how it ain't about talking. It goes the people are going to see how you live this way of life. If you truly with Almighty Yahweh, that's what's going to determine everything. Like I said, in these times, we're going to truly see who is with Yahweh. Because even sometimes when times get bad, that's when we forget Yahweh. We don't know what to do. We start panicking like you see people now and don't know he right there. Right there. What we think a lot of times, we think he way out in space somewhere. He can't get to us. He's right there in the midst. He's right among us, Israel. So he's waiting for us to call out to him. This is First John chapter 2. I'm going to go to verse 20 now. But you have an anointing from the Kodesh one, and you know all things. I have not written to you because you do not know the truth, but because you know it, and that no lie is of the truth. Yahweh cannot lie, plain and simple. So you're not going to find Yahweh say something and then all of a sudden he changes it and make it something else. No, what Yahweh says goes. Who is a liar but he who denies that Yahshua is Hamashiach? Like I said, you got many people out here saying that they deny Hamashiach. Who is a liar but he who denies Hamashiach? He is the anti-Messiah who denies the Father and the Son. Whoever denies the Son does not have the Father either. Because what it look like Yahweh? You say you love Yahweh, you with Yahweh, and you deny his Son. You think Yahweh accept that? You don't like his Son? You reject his Son? You think he gonna accept you? No, he gonna reject you. He who acknowledges the Son has the Father also. You got one, you gonna have the other, Israel. Don't let nobody tell you it's just Yahweh and no other. We just came out of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and it was about Yahshua HaMashiach, what he did for the world. He gave up his life for the sins of the world. Yeah, it was Yahweh come down in flesh, but still, it was his Son that did the will of Almighty Yahweh. And people can't fathom that. Different things in this world that you say Yahweh has done, people can't fathom how that's going to be Yahweh in the flesh and they be one. People can't wrap their head around different things like that. How you breathing? How you have functioning of limbs if it's not from Almighty Yahweh? But people deny these things because they don't believe. That's very important. We have to believe that Yahweh can do all things. Therefore, let that abide in you, what you heard from the beginning. See, these things Yahweh has said, the old path, all the things that he has commanded us to do, continue to let it abide in you and don't let it slip, Israel. If what you heard from the beginning abides in you, you also will abide in the Son and in the Father. And this is the promise that he has promised us, eternal life. That is a promise. As long as we follow him, that's what he's going to give you, Israel. That's what we living for, to live again. Eternal life. But you're not going to receive that if you reject his Son. You're not going to receive that if you reject Yahweh. You're not going to receive that if you want to do your own thing. You only receive it when you accept the Son and the Father and do the will of Almighty Yahweh. That's all he wants. All he wants you to do is be obedient. He's not asking you to give up all your income, give up everything you have. He wants you to just be obedient, Israel. He ain't say give up your firstborn son. Just be obedient. That's what he wants from you, Israel. But we think that's a hard thing. We think that's a hard thing when just being obedient to Almighty Yahweh and serving him. It's a hard thing. No, we make it hard because we want to still be in the world. We make it hard because we want to be back and forth. Like he said, he don't like those that are lukewarm. How to cold. He said, pick one. Stop being back and forth. Pick one. And he even tell us, choose life or death. You want to choose life. You do not want to choose death. Yahweh always gives us the instructions, but we don't want to hear the instructions. Let's go to 2 Peter. It's like getting something and it's a big project to do. You know, we got a book right there for you to read, for you to put it together. Instructions. I've done it. I got it myself. Put it together. I don't read the instructions. Then it come out wrong. It don't come out how it's supposed to be. That's what the instructions are for. To show you how to put it together so it'll be perfected. This Torah is your instructions to show you how to live so you'll be perfected. Israel. That's what this Torah is for. Don't let this book stay in your house and collect dust. So you know a lot of people in the world, they just have it with them to make it seem like they are Kodesh. I got the book, I'm of Yahweh. I'm Kodesh. No, you gotta pick this book up and crack it open. Because even this is of you. You are in this book. And to give you instructions for what's going on in the world also. Like Darkane said, stuff ain't happening in the book, it's happening out in the world. So if we're not reading it, if we're not studying it, we don't know what's going on. We just thinking, oh man, it's just stuff going on in the world. It's crazy out there. I don't know why, but I'm gonna just keep going. But we that see these things know the time coming to a close. Yahweh is wrapping this thing up, and He wants us to be real. 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 16. For we did not follow cunningly devised fables when we made known to you the power and the coming of Yahshua HaMashiach, but were eyewitnesses of his majesty. See that? He said, nah, we ain't talking about those fables and different things that are not of Yahweh. No, we made it known the power of Almighty Yahweh, his truth to the people. What's the sense of making up stuff where it doesn't even lead to salvation? But that's what people do. They want to make up things and make it look like, oh, he's a great speaker. Oh, he sound well. But did he say what thus says Yahweh? Did you actually, you just looking at it, and then don't look at the appearance of the man either. Because a lot of people do that too. They just sit up in the churches or the temples and just gawk at the messenger and don't know what they saying. They just looking at them because they look well. Can't be looking at the appearance. Yahweh even told you that. He said he don't care about the appearance of man. He don't care about that. All he cares about is obedience. I don't care. He don't care about how many offerings you give up to him. Just obedience. That's what he wants. Now it says we're eyewitnesses of his majesty. Things that they have seen, things that they have heard. And have you been in a situation where Yahweh has done something so miraculous for you, Israel, where you tell other people what happened, they look at you like they don't believe you? Like, what? Really? Nah, I don't believe it. But you saw it. So you know the power of Almighty Yahweh. Like I said, Yahweh does many things for us each and every day. We're not opening our eyes and seeing it. He's protecting us right now, Israel. He even say, speak what we know, right? And testify to the things that we've seen. You can't deny anything that you've seen Yahweh do in your lives. I mean, these things sometimes seem, wow, miraculous to you, but if you know Yahweh, you know he can do all things. He shows you, he baruchs your hands to do different things in his namesake, different things that you do in your life. At first you think you can't do it, and then all of a sudden you achieve it. That's of Yahweh. Every day he does something for us. But We have to recognize that and give him the honor and praise. Let's go to stay. I'm coming back. Let's go to the book of John. Like I said, speak what you know. This is John chapter 3, John 3:11. Most assuredly, I say to you, we speak what we know and testify what we have seen, and you do not receive our witness. If I have told you earthly things and you do not believe, how will you believe if I tell you of heavenly things? See, I'm telling you different earthly things that Yahweh has done for me, for you, and people don't believe that. So, of course, when you start talking about these heavenly things that Yahweh promised us, of course they're gonna look at you crazy. Of course they're gonna deny it because they don't even believe the earthly things. And it's sad, even Yahweh have high seat on them, and they don't even see what Yahweh has done in their lives. Like I said, we have to allow Yahweh to work in our vessels. No one has ascended to heaven but he who came down from heaven. That is the Son of Man who is in heaven. And as Moshe lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so much the Son of Man be lifted up, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life. See that? You believe, you will not perish. Yeah, these vessels decaying, you're going to die one day, but you're going to receive eternal life. You're going to resurrect like Yahshua HaMashiach did. And he is the main example to show you. He died, but like he said, he was going to rise 3 days, 3 nights. And that's the same thing with his people in that first resurrection. Now it says, for Yahweh did not send his son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. And that's what the ministers, the messengers are doing in his stead. They trying to save souls, save your life, snatch you out of the flame so you may be saved. They don't, when somebody rebuke you, try to get you in line, they not trying to condemn you. They're not trying to do this because they hate you. No, they love you because they're saying if somebody didn't love you, they just let you do what you want to do. Just go right ahead and keep sinning. But somebody that loves you, they're going to stand and tell you, no, you're in the wrong. Get in the right way where Yahweh says. This is not about the ministers and messengers. It's all about Yahweh and his son, Yahshua HaMashiach. But people look at the flesh and they get mad at the flesh. But this is all about Almighty Yahweh. That's not about that flesh that is in front of you. Now it says, he who believes in him is not condemned, but he who does not believe is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of Yahweh. See that? You condemned already. Talked about that at the beginning. Those false prophets, those that go out to deceive, are condemned already, because you want to stand in his stead and spew out lies, add to the word, subtract from the word. That's what's coming to you. But it's all throughout the book where those that are wicked, those that are evil, are going to those eternal fire, because deliberately want to let Israel go astray. Let's go back to 2 Peter. Somebody that deliberately stand in front of you and want to deceive you don't know Yahweh. Because if they knew Yahweh, they knew those flames are coming if you go against him. Second Peter, I'm going to start at verse 17. Second Peter 1:17 says, "For he received from Yahweh the Father honor and glory when such a voice came to him from the excellent glory. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." And we heard this voice, which came from the Hashemayim, when we were with him on the Kodesh mountain. And so we have the prophetic word confirmed, which you do well to heed as a light that shines in a dark place, until the day dawns and the morning star rises in your hearts. Knowing this first, that no prophecy of scripture is of any private interpretation. See that this ain't nothing private. This is for the whole world if they would just listen. But it says, "For the prophecy never came by the will of man, but the Kodesh men of Yahweh spoke as they were moved by the Ruach HaKodesh." The Ruach. That's what we all need. Can't speak of yourself. That's what men do. Evil men do, deceivers. They speak of themselves. They are void of the Ruach. But those that are truly with Almighty Yahweh and warning the people, preparing the people, teaching the people, have that Ruach HaKodesh, which is from Almighty Yahweh. They are not speaking of their own. That's why I always pray that Yahweh put his words in all his messenger mouths. Don't allow any falsehood to come out of their mouths, because this is our souls on the line. Let's go to chapter 2. It says, "But there were also false prophets among the people, even as there will be false teachers among you, who will secretly bring in destructive heresies, even denying Yahweh who bought them, and bring on themselves swift destruction." See that Yahweh ain't going to delay on his wrath. He going to bring swift destruction because you are teaching his people. And many will follow their destructive ways, because of whom the way of truth will be blasphemed. By covetousness, they will exploit you with deceptive words. See, you gotta watch how people be having the smooth words, trying to draw you in. That's how Shaitan did Mother Hawa. He came with those slick words to try to deceive her, and that's what happened. That's what these messengers are doing also. For a long time, their judgment has not been idle, and their destruction does not slumber. That destruction is coming. And Yahweh, when he brings his wrath, it's going to be swift. He's not going to be messing around. If we want to be real with Yahweh, we got to get on his side now. Let's go to verse 12. "But these, like natural brute beasts, made to be caught and destroyed, speak evil of things they do not understand." See that they don't have that understanding because they are not in tune with Almighty Yahweh. So of course they speak evil of the things of this Torah. They go against different things because they don't have that understanding. They're not with Yahweh. They don't know him, and will utterly perish in their own corruption, and will receive the wages of unrighteousness, as those who count it pleasure to carouse in the daytime. They are spots and blemishes. See that? But Yahshua HaMashiach, he was without spot, no blemish. But these that stand to deceive, they are with spots and blemishes, carousing in their own deception while they feast with you, having eyes full of adultery, and they that cannot cease from sin, enticing unstable souls. See that? Like I said, you got people all the time. They come in different conditions, coming out of the world, but you want to draw on that and get them to go astray. That's why you guys watch how we talk amongst newcomers, because they're trying to learn. They're trying to know this way. You don't want to send them out because they heard something that was not of Yahweh. They have forsaken the right way and gone astray, following the way of Balaam, the son of Beor, who loved the wages of unrighteousness, but he was rebuked for his iniquity. Says a dumb ass speaking with a man's voice restrained the madness of a prophet. You all remember that? You know people gonna say, nah, not no ass speak. Come on now. Like, exactly. Yahweh has all power. If he choose to speak through an animal to you to get your attention, he can do it. But people that don't believe in Almighty Yahweh, of course, they're gonna reject those things. That ain't happening. That's come on now. But didn't it say the people went to fables though? But you don't believe what Almighty Yahweh can do. But you believe in the fables. That's backwards as I don't know what. But that's the mind of the people nowadays. It says these are wells without water, dry, clouds carried by a tempest, for whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever, weeping and gnashing of teeth. That's what it's going to be forever and ever. Those that dwell in that burning lake of fire. It's not going to stop. See, leaving people think that, how I'm going to burn forever. See, don't even think about that. You want to think about how you going to live forever. But you know, people, nothing can't burn forever. Watch. Yahweh has all power. If you want to keep going down the wrong road, you will find out. But I say to this, burning ain't a good feeling. You touch something real hot, and burn you, it's not a good feeling. And you tend to feel that for days. That burning feeling. So if you burn it forever and ever, do you want to feel that pain that you just felt putting your hand on the stove or something forever and ever through your whole body? That makes no sense at all to me. But when you are not of Yahweh, it makes plenty of sense because they don't know Yahweh. They don't even think Yahweh is coming. You know how some people say, "Oh, see, the times continue to go on. Yahweh still haven't come yet. He ain't coming." You know, people thinking like that. People get it says when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth? People going to give up because it seems like it's taking a long time. We're going through a lot of things and he's not coming. People going to lose faith. But you, Israel, don't lose faith. Continue to know that Yahweh is dead. The time drawing to a close, but we have to be patient and wait on Yahweh. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians. 1 Thessalonians chapter 2 says, "For you yourselves know, brethren, that our coming to you was not in vain. But even after we had suffered before and were spitefully treated at Philippi, as you know, we were bold in our Elohim to speak to you the glad tidings of Yahweh in much conflict." See that they went on even with conflict, even when people came up against them to wanting to kill them, they still stood for the name of Yahweh. For our exhortation did not come from error or uncleanness, nor was it in deceit. See, we talking about the real and true people now that stood for Yahweh's name. But as we have been approved by Yahweh to be entrusted with the glad tidings, even so we speak, not as pleasing men, see that, but Yahweh who tests our hearts. We ain't here to be pleasing men. We want to please Yahweh because he is in control of everything. And that says, for neither at any time did we use flattering words like the false messengers do, as you know, nor a cloak for covetousness. Yahweh is witness. Yahweh sees all. Nor did we seek glory from men, either from you or from others, when we might have made demands as apostles of Hamashiach. But we were gentle among you, just as a nursing mother cherishes her own children. So even the messengers can't beat down the people all the time, beat them down because they ain't come in doing something. People come in, they got to be taught. You can't just beat down people when they come in not knowing. All of us at a certain point in time had to be taught Yahweh's word, how to live. So you're going to have all types of people coming in not knowing. So you can't just beat them down, because if you keep beating them down, they're going to leave. And that's not what Yahweh wants. Yahweh wants to draw people to him, not let them leave. But it says, like he said, gentle among you, just as a nursing mother cherishes her own children. So affectionately longing for you, you were well pleased to impart to you, excuse me, we were well pleased to impart to you not only the glad tidings of Yahweh, but also our own lives, because you had become dear to us. See that? It ain't about all this all the time. No, I'm of the Bible. Do not touch me. I'm holy. Do not talk to me. Get to know people. Like when we take break, we fellowship. It ain't all about I'm tugging this Torah all day. I'm not letting it go. Don't touch me. Don't. No. Relax. Get to know one another. We are all one family. But you got a lot of people like that. They think they holier than thou. They think they better than everybody else. So you know, different churches, you can't even get to the preacher to ask them questions, to talk with them. They got security. You got to make an appointment. You know, all this stuff going on in the world. But see, they said they were amongst the people. They got to know the people. And it says, for you remember, brethren, our labor and toil, for laboring night and day, that we might not be a burden to any of you. We preach to you the glad tidings of Yahweh. You are witnesses, and Yahweh also, how devoutly and justly and blamelessly we behaved ourselves among you who believe. As you know how we exhorted and comforted and charged every one of you, as a father does his own children, that you will walk worthy of Yahweh who calls you into his own kingdom and glory. For this reason, we also told Yahweh without ceasing, because when you received the word of Yahweh, which you heard from us, you welcomed it, not as the word of men, but as it is in truth, the word of Yahweh, which also effectively works in you who believe. Aren't you happy when you bring people to this way of life and they get to know this way, and then they're happy too, and you find family with different people that come in, or you go out into the world and you meet somebody that is a Hebrew Israelite and they know who they are, and you begin conversating back and forth. It's a good feeling just to know there's others like that. These men, they did the same thing. Taught among the people. They preached. They did what they had to do in the will of Almighty Yahweh. It's not of man, it says, but as in truth, the word of Yahweh. Had to be real with Almighty Yahweh. Let's go to 1 John chapter 4. I'll soon be done. First John chapter 4 says, beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirit, whether they are of Yahweh, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. See that? You got to test the spirit, the Ruach, to see if they are of Yahweh. By this, you know the Ruach of Yahweh. Every spirit that confesses that Yahshua HaMashiach has come in the flesh is of Yahweh. And every spirit that does not confess that Yahshua HaMashiach has come in the flesh is not of Yahweh. And this is the spirit of the anti-Messiah, once again, which you have heard was coming and is now already in the world. You are of Yahweh, little children, and have overcome them, because he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. See that, Israel? If you are of Yahweh and you got him within you, you have overcome. You can overcome whoever comes at you and try to contradict, try to get you off the path, because you know this is the way. You're not going to back down. This says they are of the world. Therefore, they speak as of the world, and the world hears them. We are of Yahweh, right, Israel? He who knows Yahweh hears us. He who is not of Yahweh does not hear us. By this, we know the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Ain't this some good information, Israel? Yahweh is showing us what to look out for, because these are the times. We can't afford to be playing anymore, because people, they want that. Those that want to deceive you, they want you to be playing. They want you to want to do your own thing so they can get you towards them and get you off of Yahweh. These are the times we can't be playing. We have to be real with Almighty Yahweh. Let's go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel 33. Ezekiel 33:7 says, so you, son of man, I have made you a watchman for the house of Israel. Therefore you shall hear a word from my mouth and warn them for me. From the mouth of Yahweh, not of that messenger. It is from Yahweh. So when people get angry at the messenger, the minister, what thus says Yahweh, you truly getting angry with Almighty Yahweh. It says, O wicked man, when I say to the wicked, O wicked man, you shall surely die, and you do not speak to warn the wicked from his way, that wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood I will require at your hand. See that? It's going to come back on you if you don't warn the people. Nevertheless, if you warn the wicked to turn from his way, and he does not turn from his way, he shall die in his iniquity, but you have delivered your soul. You got it up off of you. Got to tell people. So it's off of you. Yahweh come back. Oh, you were supposed to warn them. You ain't do it. So they going to perish, and I'm going to require it from you also, because all that blood is on your hand. Yahweh ain't playing. But it says, therefore you, O son of man, say to the house of Israel, thus you say, if our transgressions and our sins lie upon us, and we pine away in them, how can we live then? Say to them, as I live, says Yahweh, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked, but that the wicked turn from his ways and live. See, he don't have pleasure in that. He wants you to gain salvation. That's what he wants for you. He don't want to see you perish, but if you keep going down the wrong road, he don't have a problem. It says, turn from your evil ways. For why should you die, O house of Israel? We have to turn from our ways. He says, or we're going to die. That's plain and simple. Yahweh's not playing. Verse 17 says, yet the children of your people say, the way of Yahweh is not fair. It's not just. But it is their way, which is not fair. That's what people say. They think, why are these things coming down on us? Why we got to go through these things? Because of our transgression. Everything that Yahweh does is fair and just. So we got to look at ourselves and get ourselves right. It says, when the righteous turns from his righteousness and commits iniquity, he shall die because of it. But when the wicked turns from his wickedness and does what is lawful and right, he shall live because of it. Yet you say, the way of Yahweh is not fair. O house of Israel, I will judge every one of you according to his own ways. Then we're going to see who fair and who not. Yahweh going to bring all the things that you've done in this lifetime and show you did not do the will of Yahweh. And we don't want that. We don't want him to say, go away from me. I never knew you. Wasted time, basically, in this lifetime. Let's go to my closing scripture, the book of Acts. We don't want to be wasting time. Every day that we live in this earth, we want to serve Yahweh. And that's not a waste of time. You saving your souls, Israel. Acts 20, verse 22. And see, now I go bound in the spirit to Jerusalem, not knowing the things that will happen to me there, except that the Ruach HaKodesh testifies in every city, saying that chains and tribulations await me. Pastor Shaul knew what he had to go through, but he still went. But none of these things move me, nor do I count my life dead to myself, so that I may finish my race with joy and the ministry which I received from Yahshua HaMashiach to testify to the glad tidings of the Hasid of Yahweh. And indeed, now I know that you all, among whom I have gone preaching the kingdom of Yahweh, will see my face no more. Therefore, I testify to you this day that I am innocent of the blood of all men. See there, he said, I got it all from me. I did the will of Yahweh. It is on you now. For I have not shunned to declare to you the whole counsel of Yahweh. Therefore, take heed to yourselves and to all the flock, among which the Ruach HaKodesh has made you overseers, to shepherd the assembly of Yahweh, which he purchased with his own blood. For I know this, that after my departure, savage wolves will come in among you, not sparing the flock. Also, from among yourselves, men will rise up, speaking perverse things, to draw away the disciples after themselves. See that? They're going to say whatever possible to get you on their side. Those smooth words, slick words, to get you on their side. It says, therefore, watch and remember that for 3 years I did not cease to warn everyone night and day with tears. So now, brethren, I commend you to Yahweh and to the word of his Hasid, which is able to build you up and give you an inheritance among all those who are sanctified. See that? That's what the word does. It builds us all up. Come up to that mark that Yahweh wants us to be at. I have coveted no one's silver or gold or apparel. See that? He wasn't looking out, give me that wealth, give me all you have. He did this on his own. And he did it because he wanted to do it. He wanted to save the people. There wasn't nothing hypocritical about what he did. He wanted to do the will of Yahweh. Yes, you yourselves know that these hands have provided for my necessities and for those who were with me. I have shown you in every way by laboring like this that you must support the weak. See that? Support those that are poor, the weak, those that need it, not yourself. Don't take it upon yourself and gain everything that they have. Help the weak and poor. And remember the words of Yahshua HaMashiach that he said, it is more Baruch to give than to receive. More Baruch to give than to receive, Israel. I ended on that note. Because Yahshua HaMashiach is looking for those that are true and real to guide his people, to teach, to prepare the people. But as you seen this evening, and it was shown through Yahweh's word, there's going to be many that are not going to be true in Almighty Yahweh. And there's going to be many to want to deceive you. So we have to be in tune with Almighty Yahweh and pray for that discernment to show us who is real and who is false. Because these are the days that we are in. Shaitan knows the time is coming to a close, and he is going to continue to attack until he get all he can into that last day. Like you said, if that saying they say in the word, if I go down, I'm taking everybody with me. That's what Shaitan wants to do. He want to take everybody with him. He's not going to take everybody. Because those that are true with Yahweh, Yahweh is going to protect them. Yahweh is going to see them through this. And best believe, Israel, it's going to be a remnant, like he said, of Yahweh's people that's going to stand for his truth and don't care what goes down in this earth, because we want to receive salvation. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. At this time, I ask that we all rise as we go on to prayer. Abba Yahweh, we told you for that prize that is lying ahead of us. Abba Yahweh, continue to light that fire within us to want to continue to do your ways. No matter what comes our way, no matter what comes up against us, Abba Yahweh, give us the strength as all the different apostles, the prophets, the different messengers that were under your name. Continue to give us perseverance. Continue to give us the ahava, all the things that are of you that will complete us and make us shine in this lifetime, so that that day when we resurrect in that first resurrection, we will truly shine in your kingdom. And Abba Yahweh, we told you for the things that you have prepared for us and how you will exalt your people in those days. In Yahshua HaMashiach's name we pray. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.